It's like in the website.
Okay.
There's no assignment information at all.
I think the current one was just to get the website actually working and doesn't look pretty, or two to make it look nice.
Okay. Let me turn on the screen. Okay. For today's class, we do several things we need to do. So, first, I will keep going to talk about what's the MongoDB, just like telling what's the group. The CRUD is same as the happy.js. So we do have like some like read function, and then maybe we need to update your content, or something you need to delete it. Okay, so it's like it's the fast like the final components of the whole part of it. And then next, because you need to form the group for the group project. So oh, talk about, because I know some students are joining online. If you want to form a group, about if you're ready, so probably maybe you can form a group around like 4 or 5 students. Because we only have total maybe around 20-something students, so probably around we have 4 to 5 groups. Yeah, so you can join the group. So you will see the communication tools and group. Maybe some student they are joining online. You feel free to come to the class if you want to share information, content. And you feel free to join it. So you can just like pick the group number and then join it. And also for the first assignment, after you found a group, just tell me, I will create first one. The project assignment is just tell me what do you want to do for your topic. Okay, so just like basic structure. Okay, so how it's pretty easy. Yeah, just tell me. Okay, so maybe if you want to do this like online shop, maybe, or like for specific, if you like sport, yeah, of course, sport, or like if you want to build a website for specific function, yes, you can do it. Just let me know. Yeah, and then also I will just upload slightly more guideline. What's your structure, okay, of your project? And that's it for this part. And also, I will cover the MongoDB, and after that, you can keep on working on the query. So I need to, I will help you and assist you to make sure like you are able to receive the parameters. How can you like post the data from your website to the happy.js, your API server, and then your happy.js can send the data list to have a query, send a query to MongoDB. Maybe you can able to fetch the data or like save the data, update the data. In this format, I will try to create like kind of like in class exercise. After you're able to complete it, just give me the your source code of your happy.js. How do you connect to your MongoDB, and just show me the screenshot you're able to like post it your server. So I want to make sure of you're like able to go to this step, then you can complete your project. Okay, so when I start about the MongoDB, so you know MongoDB is a NoSQL database. So we store the data so in a flexible JSON-like document. So it's a scheme, you know, the schema list. So we have no like metadata, nothing about that. And then we have high availability, scalability, rich query capability, and then we can do like real-time analytics, like CMS, also apply for the IoT stuff. And when time we talk about a database collection or document, when we use the keyword use, so that when we will create the database, I think everyone will be pretty familiar with this one. One thing about MongoDB is like once you have some typo or the make a different name, the MongoDB will help you to create a new one. So you need to be careful of like spelling, like capitalize it or lowercase, uppercase. And then every time we will create a collection. Okay, so we collection, and then all the collection inside we call the documents. So you can look at the formats. So inside the collection we have different documents. You can define your own ID or like by default. Also, once you insert it with, let's say, your example, we have the user account and password, and then you will receive it called the ID, like underscore ID. So it automatically generated by the MongoDB. Of course, you can define your own ID, let's say 1, 2, 3. You can do it in this way. And then we using one of the package we are using for the MongoDB for connection. It's called MongoDB, and then another one I would recommend is called Mongoose. But if you need to use it, you need to using npm install and then Mongoose. Okay, so we call the ODM object data modeling, and then we can just like record it. So including the schema validation, middleware support. Also, we can use it as a like API the crew. So it's create, read, and then we can update and delete operation. So just like execute npm install Mongoose is okay.
Is there a particular place in which we would be sort of installing it, or is it really matter where we put it?
This one is for your working with your Happy.js. Okay, because so right now you have the MongoDB, right? So it's running in your maybe your server, or if you want to test it locally, so you install the MongoDB. So if you need to connect it, if you remember the syntax, we have the MongoDB, and then we have the port 27017, right? So we connect to this the MongoDB, and we do have different package to connect to MongoDB. So Mongoose is one of the package. We can use the modules. We help us to connect to it, or like the one I used before is called the MongoDB. So it's another package we can use. And all these, like you can like choose, and then you need to look at the documents. Like sometimes if you use Mongoose, you need to refer to the documents, because sometimes the syntax or the functions is not the same. Okay, so and if you try not to confuse, question.
So you run that in your like React project folder, correct? Or is that
Not the React, the Happy.js on the server. Okay, so if you need to submit, that one will be on your server side. Actually React project also you need to upload to your server. So if you still remember, let me draw a pen. So I draw it on the screen. So React, okay, so right here. So we have the React right here, right? And then the Happy.js. So we will send a request, right? So like this and like this, React, and then how about Happy.js with connecting with the MongoDB. Okay, and this part will be your server. So they're working together. So inside your source code under like Happy.js, you will require the Mongoose. Okay. So if you look at my source code I share or upload to you, you'll see right here. Let me give you some sample code API server or MongoDB right here. Okay. So if you look at my sample code, so you see I request the MongoDB connect to the client, or I using the Mongoose. This one is still using the server. Okay, so here's the Mongoose. Okay, so this one is the source code of the Happy.js server code, API server. So because for the Happy.js, this server, I need to connect to the MongoDB. Okay, so this one will be the node and then start our server. Okay, so localhost 3000. This one I'm running on 3000. So when I config my NGX proxy, so I also listen to the port 3000 localhost 3000. So it will listening my Happy.js server, and then my Happy.js is connecting to localhost 27017. So this one is the port for connection. There's a MongoDB setting this, open this port for the service MongoDB for the connection. Okay, so get you. So that's why we can connect to the MongoDB and then sending all this like query to MongoDB to like find, search the data up, like create a new documents, or I can update the existing document. That's like everything how it works. Okay, so for today I will help you like guiding you to complete all this part to make sure you are able at least to get the data and post the data to your MongoDB. So here's the flow. Suppose right now sometimes we are using our terminal to send it like similarly, so we just like bypass the React, but you should able like using React to send a request to Happy.js. So when we receive, so the Happy.js right here, we set the route, right? So we have the route, let's say right now all this will be get, then I will call the function, get all the books. So here is the query, MongoDB query. So you see get all the books is like you call the function find by ID, or like I get using find. That means I didn't put any criteria filter. So I will retrieve all my record. Okay. So find is the basic function. Okay. And for today, we will like dive deeper. So when we using Mongoose, so we need to require, that means like if you look at the syntax of a source file, if we need to require something, but it doesn't belong to the original modules, you need to using npm install to install all this package. Okay. And if you didn't, or if you forgot to install it, then it will have some like error message pops out and say, okay, you're missing something, Mongoose. Then you're just using npm install. Okay. And here's the setup, the basic connection. So we're using the package to the connection. So once it's connected successfully, we get a message, MongoDB connected. Okay, and for the schema, it's like we need to base on our the collection. So maybe you can have multiple query file. So maybe for different collection, maybe you are using only one database. Maybe for your project, we just like using one database to create multiple collections. Okay, maybe one collection is specific for user, or something for transaction, or something for other stuff. Okay. And then when we create a schema, so we need to say, okay, the all the document inside, what's the fields? Okay, maybe we have the name, email, and then we can declare, okay, what's the type, string, numbers, and is it really required, or is it unique? So we can validate the content in this part. So here's the schema. So here we will call a function called model, and then pass it out. Okay, this one is the user. And then here's the schema, we're going to match it. Okay. So when we try to retrieve, get the data from the MongoDB, we'll match it with the schema. And then we can call the function. So it's similar to here, the sample code. Let me enlarge it. Number 5, okay. Okay, so I declare the because I using this one for testing, so I install in my local host. I have a MongoDB, and then I create a collection. So right here I have a title, author, and price. And then when I try to get the books, so they are all returned, I will match with the you will see if I call the function is called the books. Right here, connect it with the schema, and then match it with the title, author, and price, and then return all the content. Okay. And start with the beginning, because maybe you need to, when you post something to your server, maybe you need to create a new user account. Then how can we do it? So like based on, maybe we need to create some new records, right? So the first one for create, of course, we always like create a function, passing it like create user, and then we create asynchronous declare, because we have the await and asynchronous. Because you know, for reading and writing, we have different maybe we have some slightly delayed. And for instruction, when we loading this instruction to the server, to the CPU, so for all the instruction, they have different sequence, okay, different time. So we will make sure, like if we're waiting for return data, we just put into waiting queue, and then wait. Once we receive the data, return data, and we will start to execute. If we don't put in async and await, it will easily, you always get the returning the getting the null object. Okay, so you always, if you don't put the async and await for return value, you always getting null. So just be aware of it. Sometimes say, okay, my content or my value, they are all correct. That's what's the meaning. Let's say I post the data to the server, okay, but if forgot to create the route in like async and then await function. You say, okay, when I post it, why always I receive no content? But even though locally you have it, but you didn't like wait for the return value, then you always say it's now. Because after you execute the first one, let's say I try to get a book. If I didn't wait for it, then I will execute next one. So when I respond it, always it's empty. It's now, okay. And it's no matter about to reading or updating. So just remember this part. And here is like I have a parsing usage data. So I have a query, maybe pass it called the user. So I will save it. And for the read operation right here, if I want to find, so I just using the function dot find. Okay, so I didn't passing any filter. So I just retrieve everything. Okay. And if I need to search it by ID, just give a function find by ID. Okay. So you may use a lot. Okay. So maybe once you get a list of all the items, and then you need to get a specific content or more details, maybe you need to find. So using the you find by ID, this function, the ID is when you try to insert the new document or like a new row of data, if you don't declare the ID, then MongoDB will automatically assign a unique ID to you. Okay. And also you can read more if you want to compare certain things, then you can pass like the curly bracket, and then H is one of the maybe the field, the attribute, like your learning attribute. So we have different keywords like we have the greater than equal to, greater than, like less than, equal to, less than. Okay. So we have more like keywords. And also of this, we can refer to the official document. So for the MongoDB, they all have all these keywords. Like once you forgot, you can look for more details. And then I will match. So you will see 2H right here. So this one is the parameter. Okay, so this one is like what I'm passing from the server or what I'm passing to the query. And here's the attribute, the name itself. Okay, so this what we are reading. Or if we only need to find one record, like merge the first one, we can use that function called find one. Okay, so find is like I try to find everything, like match it, and then find one, I just need to get the one matching the first one, then I'll return it. Okay, so I'm not returning anything else. And also you can add more like logical operator. Same as you learning the MySQL query. So we have and or, right? Those, so you can put the same. So we are passing it as an array. So we can put in or, and then with the square bracket right here. So it's passing is the array, and then or condition. That means okay, first one is checking the age. So LT is like less than. And then we also checking the name. So the same match it with the name ending is this one. We have some regular expression. Okay. Maybe you need to, I'm not really teaching regular expression, but if you're interested, also you can search it, or like if you ask me later. So regular expression is we use a lot to matching us string. We are looking for certain content. If you put the exact character, so match it, sometimes we have maybe if we have something exists, we using plus and not like extra, so we miss everything. And then if we are allowed to match it, it's like anything can be 0 or exists. And then, or sometimes we can declare, okay, if I want to have something is the digit, and then maybe I can have multiple, and like at least one or more than that, or it's nothing, then it can be like this. Okay. Maybe you need to use for your project, or maybe not. So you can try to use it. Okay. And also we are paginning the result, or if you want to do, then you can using the like .skip function. We have to call the pages, and then -1 times the limit, like how many. So you can do it like the limit is like returning. I'm setting, okay, how many content we're going to return. Okay. So we can use the function find and then .skip. Okay. And after you able to read all the information, the next one is update. So one of the function is like based on the ID, then we can update the content. So we can find by ID and update. Okay, so probably you need to use this one a lot. So we need to pass the ID. So this one will match your document. That means the data match your ID. And that one, maybe you have the user data, so we can pass it. If exactly the same, then we can fill it. So new equals to true run word data. So we can pass the parameter 2 right here. Okay, it's a new record. We can do, and then if we need to update multiple, then you can use the update many. So this time, if you just update more than one, maybe you don't have, maybe you have any other criteria, so update many, and then passing it. Maybe the age is like less than the one you require, then change your updated data. Okay, so pass the parameter right here. So for when you implement the function in this part, so here I didn't pass anything, and or I need to finding the ID. I pass the ID right here. So what do you need to modify? Maybe most of them not yet implement the post. That's what you need to do to implement the post function to update the value. And I have one example, so you can follow this one and try to change it. And then we have update more. If you want to have a specific field you want to update, then you can just like enter, okay, passing this one ID and then with the field. So email, if I want to only update for that ID, update the email. So attribute name and then new email, maybe new password, new username, or some content. You can do it in this way. Okay. If you are able to replace everything, sometimes it's like you can design. Let's say you have a user profile. Okay, you have so many information, like maybe first name, last name, address, email, phone number, zip code, like maybe so many items. Depends on if you want to replace everything or just like replace certain content. So you can design. If you say I'm not worried everything, I just replace all of them, then you can use the method like this, just pass the user data and save it, replace it. Or I just like want to update one specific attribute, then you can do it. Okay, one of the field. And also, if you want to just find the one you need to do and then update it, of course, yes. So maybe you can pass the filter. So this filter is the same like the filter like this, matching it. And then passing the filter and then update the value. So the syntax is the same. So this time we replace it from the ID to the filter you want to use. Okay. And right here, or if you want to like have some condition, let's say I want to checking. So I will sometimes when you check the ID, I will find the ID and then try to check, okay, this user is less than 18, then I will update, okay, add those false. If no, then I will change to another condition true. So you can use the if condition inside your syntax right here. Okay. So all of them, they're all components and built as a function. So that's why we can, if you remember the syntax for the ES6, we call the arrow function. So we can put everything to validate the content. And then if you need to delete certain record, it's not recommend, but if you do need to do that, you can using find by ID and delete. Okay, so it's same idea, like delete from the table where the condition. Okay, so you can say the certain condition. So right here, most of the time the data, if you need to update maybe username, maybe you can pass it through the query, like using the get method. Okay, the methods. But if you need to sending the data like through the payload, then we have to using the post method. So just like be careful which method are you using for the communication, okay, for your request. If you're using method post, we are always like sending the data through payload. Okay, so request.payload. So it's through your it's a JSON format inside the body of your package. But if you're using the get method, then we have two ways to get the data. One is through the parameter, and then what's the another one? Do you remember what's the another way? If we are using get method, one is passing through the parameter, request.parameter, then what's the another one? Anybody remember?
No.
No. Okay, so if you look at last week, okay, so right here, let me see. So we have one is called the QE, not this one, it's called QE. Let me see, example. This one is the structure of the project. Okay, let me see, okay. So when we try to use a get method, then we have the, I didn't put right here, okay. Then I just refer to the source code of the route. So right here we have two different ways. So one is like if I want to passing the path. Okay, so if I passing the value through the path, so your complete request it will be like, let's say HTTP and then like the local host 3000. Maybe for you, if you're doing testing, maybe I put the ID is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, like this. Okay. So this one is passing through the parameter. Okay. So for this one, we have two syntax you can use. If using a dot notation, then you don't have to put a bracket. If you are just using the parameter, then you need to put a bracket to get the object. Okay. And another method is passing through the query. So the query format is right. Let me see where's. Okay, it's here. Okay. So it looks slightly the same. So I can do it like to get the value. So syntax either way is fine. So you can do it in this way or price and then dot price. Okay. So when we pass the value, let's say this time we have the ID. So ID question mark and then price and then pass it with the maybe let's say 99.99. So this one is passing through the query. Okay. If you put a question mark and then with the attribute, the field's name, then it will be like this. Okay. So this one is through the parameter. And this one is from the query. Okay. So it depends on your need. And you can define. So this one is the or. Just make sure you can use the either one of the syntax. Okay, depends on your behavior. If I like doing it this way, then you can stay on this one. If you like to like using dot notation, then stay on the dot notation. And that's how we retrieve the data. And then for the post, that means we need to get it from the payload. Okay, dot payload, we get the whole object value, and this time we return it. And always like from my source code, this time I gave you is we always try to use the try and catch. Okay, we try to catch any error because we sometimes when you have some like syntax error, logical error, or some filter, you couldn't able to retrieve the data, you will receive the internal error like 500. Okay, but sometimes helping us for debugging or redirecting. If you don't want to telling, okay, it's an internal 500. But if you can, I show an error message that your data is not exist, or if I receive error code 500. So the happy.js right here, we will return the code, right? So if our code is like 200, that means it's the standard, like 200, that means it's success. Okay. And then 404, it doesn't exist, or 500 is the internal error. So we are not able to get those data. So also we try to return appropriate HTTP status code. That's what we're going to do. So right here, I'm passing it through the parameter. So when I try to get it, request the parameters.id and then pass it to the one of good habits, I say try to import it from another file so you can like implement the function. Just an example right here, I gave you, and then you can import it, then you can call a function instead of calling the function like the MySQL query directly inside your happy.js file. The good habit, sometimes you may reuse those query, and also we are better for management. So I know, okay, this function is for the MongoDB, is good, easy for debugging. Okay. So this one is like if I didn't receive anything. So remember to using the await and then the synchronize. Because sometimes it takes maybe 1 second to retrieve the data. If you didn't wait for it, and then you always return now. So it's always empty. Okay. And if we have the error, then we were able to like catch the error and then return the code. It's like 500. So error to retrieve the user. That's how you can use. And then we can add some schema. Here's a schema. You can define your own or use the in the last week the example like the JOI to declare the validation of your content, and you can avoid the data. But of course, for database, you should also validate using your schema to make sure, okay, are they string or are they required unique, or do they need to match it? So here's the another the regular expression. So maybe you don't know, but based on, can you guess what's this? Can anybody able to tell? This like regular expression. What's the meaning of it? Yes. Because I tried to validate an email. So
Yeah, means look for someone with an ad symbol on it.
yeah, so we have the at symbol and then add right here. So actually it will be the structure of an email. Okay. Dot represent anything. Okay. And then plus, if you remember I say plus is at least one or many. Okay. So if you break down, it's like first part is right here. So this one is like anything, like it's before the ad. Okay, so that means your username for your email account. And then slash ad is a character. It's showing is a character. Okay. And then another part, maybe for .com, it can be anything, right? So google.com, maybe using Outlook or any other email provider, then it will be anything. And then slash dot right here is the domain like dot. And then last one, some we can use like .com, .net, or .anything. Okay, .co. So here's a whole structure of the email. So if we can match ABC and google.com. So ABC will fit to the first one, this part. And then Google will be the first part and second part. And then we have the dot and then .com. Okay. So we can match it using the regular expression. It's not difficult, but when you need to really looking for the data using regular expression, you need to test it. Okay. Yeah. For some practice, if not so sure, then sometimes I recommend there's a called online regular expression. Online web. Okay. And sometimes like online regular expression. If you want, you can like paste a code. Let's say I paste part of it like this. Okay. Content. And then if I looking for certain keyword, I want to grab the return value. So return. So you see right here is return, maybe space. And I want to return a value. So why not at least anything plus, and then with the semicolon right here. So it will match everything. So it will show you what is the merge group, the first one, maybe array. For more details, if you're interested, you can try to, I'm looking for it. Okay, you can search. So sometimes if I put a question mark, it will be the shortest one, and I put a dot right here. Okay, maybe I'm using the dot, using the shortest one. Okay, so if I put the question mark right here, we're getting the shortest. Okay, so I would get the first dot. Okay, if you're interested, and then always remember try to like have a proper management the MongoDB connection, add the error handling, and validate. your input. Okay. So far is everything about the MongoDB and practice time. Okay. So if somebody still like have some problem connecting to your MongoDB, I'll help you to fix it. If you're able to do that, then try to implement a post method and then try to save it. And I will create a submission. So it's a kind of like in-class exercise. You can upload it if you're able to make it. So what do you need to do is refer, like I have to update the data, right? The price. You should able to complete this part at least, like upload it through the ID with the price. So this one I will mix with the parameter and the query. Okay. And maybe you need to implement one more is the payload. Then how can you sending the data through the payload? Okay. So replace it not only using the query, but also parameter, but using a post method. Okay. So, but in this moment, I will help you to make this one work. Okay. And then there's a function, how can you upload? So I will keep this screen right here. So if you want to, you can look at it and I will help you to work on it and give me some time. Okay. You finish safely?
I got a question for you.
Yeah, sure, I will help you.
So I've got my happy server running.
Okay.
All I get is it gives me what I expect. But when I mess
Got it.
with
Full and even.
it always gives the- that-
I'm doing
no
okay.
matter what. And you know, you know,
If you can do it on.
I just use your data fetcher. I'm gonna say, same one I had over here.
Doing
For the install. I mean, it takes forever.
It has anything, so you put it in the.
Yeah, what my second thought is always, you were expensive. And so, no, apparently.
Is that good?
Yeah, I'll make it work. Yeah.
Okay. It's really common.
I say half.
All the service makers. When they are getting.
Still say no.
So we will have. For this one, mix around the happy J or. Yes, then we need to modify the engine. So, if you refer to that engine.
Also doesn't help there's not as much guilt with this one.
Yeah.
I'm so.
No, I mean.
And that's why I. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't, but I've got really how you going on there. That's what I guess about. Just Jim. Actually, not resin. Yeah. Actually, no. No, you good, that's not gonna do it.
I think.
Filter it. They're always there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This one.
Okay, so there's there's some swing for all of March.
I can send this to you too.
So it's tricky. It's like entering for engineers like so this like.
Okay, it's.
But the tricky thing that we are working like locally, so we need to. This is not JS, okay. They want to try like stuff. The hint is the cost.
I get the course.
Okay.
So this file.
It's for engineering. It's like when you, if you upload the happy case, like reference from your server side, then you don't have to like fix the happy case, but you can fix this issue. Using the. And then
Everybody just got it.
So I need to, since I'm not using Nginx, I need to.
So before you want something else, looking at that, how can you let actually local host 3000 to accept that host.
Gotcha.
Request.
Okay.
It's like, I let you.
I'll give it a shot.
Okay, yeah, if no, I will come to help you.
Certainly,
Thank
yeah.
you. It
is huge.
Usually.
They had it sent until this morning.
Loading. I have kids with my dogs.
Okay.
Every year is like, it's just baby. Yeah, I do like right here around. But when I, what are you doing when I?
Goose would never.
Goose would not rather be a
Skip his dog alive.
I'm not certain.
That's what you kill. Yeah, my cats love the dogs. In my example, I get in data from Luna, like she was loves or a neighbor in Ellsworth.
Yeah.
The one that's a raven like the house. So it's the domain and then slash API. So if you're.
Not after labor, but after labor.
So can you get the data?
But it's some weird
If
breed.
it's
where it's
loading,
like,
it's a US
I have
API.
hard to change. It's like
Only one can see like hybrid dogs are not good dogs. They're really hard, they're like temperamental. Will you be kind? I will take it back there.
How long would you be?
Because like, if you remember, as part of our status, put like 500. So start with 500, call it intended. Error. Okay. So internal error, most times I get your
talk about.
but don't check anything. Or sometimes the implement. EPS server or somehow. Okay, so one thing is. Okay, so when now you are React.js, sending a request to the happy.js. So I need to make sure where I'm debugging, I want to make sure is your happy.js server, your API server is running right now? Okay, so it's not, okay, so, the most of the time you need to make it like exactly, so. So you need to use it. Using it. Yeah. So you spitting code? Yeah. So, I want to see your. I want to see your paper coming out.
And I'm also kind of like, okay, I've already some customers
I need to adjust, I didn't, set the time, because I was, you for this one, it will be, in November. Okay, after you have a look, for part one, it's really simple, but at least, I will like modify the details. After you form the group, and you need to tell, based on your topic, then you should able to have like a simple React page. You don't have to make a React page, it's like, I should able to see like that page, and then you have the API service working, and then you're able to connect to your then you are able to like get the data. Yeah, it shows you've actually done
So
something.
you're-
Yeah, and it's like, it's
And then
like,
overlay.
Yeah.
okay, and then for part two, it's like you have to use like the whole website. You're like able, actually, if you're able to do the API server and you can have the database. For the AWS class, so what you need to do is like make the software nicer.
That's a
And then we need to get that. Another important package, say for development. You need to like put all those documentation, okay, for workpage, yes. So how about the API server?
Storage backup, okay, storing for all class stuff, so that's the thing in case I need to. The last thing I got is cleaned up, like, where we left that laptop, they died on shit.
Have you ever been?
So you gotta take all these, and all you do is. Anyway, on the inside, I'm like,
Good, it's a.
yeah, I was good on the business.
It's the least crappy.
Yeah, okay, I was like, it is semester and what is something?
And it's right here, you have to let your server execute running.
No, because that is.
That server is not the AWS, come on, not the AWS EC2, I would say.
That was the best
Well,
one.
if you get into the.
Okay, maybe that's.
There's another and then make the same thing.
Awesome questions.
Somebody, any of your questions? Right now.
That's what I had.
They're just powerful enough to do coding and stuff, so it's not powerful to do games.
No, it's not. I'm so certain what we're supposed to be doing.
Okay, okay, so, but first, you have a click where they was these three parts, React, Happy, and MongoDB.
And yeah, you said the happy and MongoDB are the server side and React is interactive, and then directly was happy with interaction.
Okay, yeah, Happy, okay,
It's
so,
just making it work. I'm like.
okay, so you need to make it work, why not just, ignore the, React? You, for the website, that, if you like follow all my source code, if you keep those source code, I think if you follow the React, all the data fetcher, but you should be okay. The one that we are trying to implement the service, okay, because you can't really like access to the AWS, so you can do it locally, yeah, but actually you can do it technically locally. So first thing is the Happy.js. Okay, how can we start a Happy.js server? So I gave you the source code right here, the server, okay, so, okay, so here, okay, so right here we have the request, we request, so we need to have a Happy.js, module, the package, right? The basic syntax right here, the initialize, server local 2000, for their basic, and then you start to run it. So when you execute, okay, so if you still, okay, I think this is last time, I have to, so when you running not, server, you check, but execute. Okay,
Just like that, right?
space, and plus, and then server.js. Okay, and then when you hit that, okay. Sometimes it didn't link the Node.js. So sometimes like.
Yeah, that one.
Let me check the version, if you still remember, like, here's like, error message, comes out, okay. Yeah, so.
What about to make a list to set up?
You able to get your data?
Man, you're good.
Oh, you're not.
You know, you probably could do a logo again, and there's something for that. I mean, when you make something.
Fetch the data.
Okay, so
Are you doing the?
for 316 when someone is on the home window. But we can do something using some nice commands for for programming debugging we always okay, so right here.
No, that's the data.
Let's say
So
I
the
want to
data.
have
Yes,
video
you, like you have to go onto your AWS account. A new model.
so maybe sometimes like it you know I can go with it but suppose they are also
Should be, the data should be installed.
so maybe by default this one we need to make the path environment so video. I want to make that one thing here too. Okay, so maybe.
And then just in case it doesn't. You can do the same thing there. You don't use like the normal size. If it doesn't.
It's maybe so slow.
Yeah, everybody hates that thing. They won't hurt.
Okay, so maybe if I check exit to this one, okay? No, it doesn't exist in the Google file, so maybe I need to search it and see. Check the save file.
Click on. Yeah,
You click no, okay, okay. But sometimes it doesn't link it to your environment. Sometimes it says,
something that I've been able to do, makes me get markers and kind of.
And then add these.
it's not weird, but sometimes when we install it, it will automatically like say add to your path. Sometimes if you didn't, then yes, when you install it, it's working. But when you like we put your computer in lost connection, so that's why okay. So as part of the job we need to fix the issues.
Is there a way to run this?
Not only server, sometimes like when you try to install the Node.js on the server side, if you forgot to link it, it may also lost the. So our, what we need to do is that we need to, let's say right here, is under the Node.js file, add to the path environment.
And so that is one, actually, because that's ready to go.
Yeah.
And so then.
Yeah, so
I'm trying to make my front end React. Yeah, so I can look at all databases.
But now I'm trying to get
Okay, and then I will add the new, there's a variable right here.
Okay.
So use that alpha. Okay, so what should we do? So it's telling you, okay, system variables, and then we need to search for file and they include it, and then comment, then.
Pretty sure my.
Okay, maybe we can do a new one.
Have these on.
Okay. Windows, it's like, okay, so, and they include the C program file, and then make it separate the path by the same time, okay. So this is a location.
Is it happy.js?
Make sure, like, sometimes the
Look it up in
instructions, it does this, but it may be nothing, so I will say, make sure it's covered. And then edit it. And then maybe I look at,
I remember doing it. I remember that one.
Yes, okay. So this one I added to the environment. Make sure the environment.
It's not gonna. Reinstall.
I mean, it's gonna install it as a folder, it's not an actual app.
Yeah.
It's just, it'll install it as a folder.
Okay, it comes up, okay. So for fixing that.
It should be in square file.
Okay, yeah, so it's mainly because for the environment, we didn't have it, so we cannot call the not
So
directly. And then we can check one more thing, is it NPM inside? Okay, okay, it comes to that, okay, that means right now it's working. It should be fine, then we may, okay, for here, maybe I need to start a new, turn it off.
I've never felt so happy.
It's a type of- We have new one, okay, it's loading a new one, we'll wait for it, and then this time we can use it. And then server.js.
Yeah. No. You said on the sign, right here, you would upload for. Maybe what you mean by that is for, yeah. What about David? That's all right. But if I can make a David, it's really, whatever. I can input. If an input that goes nowhere, and export that goes nowhere.
Of course, this is a different.
The input doesn't count.
Also,
Just
sometimes
find words.
is that then we need to fix it. in this code. No. So,
Very sorry.
yeah, so it's always most of the time I do this. Fix it right. Okay, so maybe okay, maybe yeah. Sometimes it's also let's start it one more time. No, maybe we need to below it.
Yeah, it's gonna tell you, like,
That means we need to turn off the clock because it's not yet like, even I tell you to the terminal, it's still not yet loaded and blank, okay? So when I. So it's under my project, okay, so why not under my project?
Download the example code and then you have it here of what I already have.
Okay.
As far as the actual pathway to get to it, it's probably down.
Okay, so when now I will see you are the original part of my project. So like you need to look at impact.
Now, again, though, I haven't messed with it. Like when I download your example code, it just immediately open it. Yes, so it's probably a different.
Yeah, so when I set under your my project, so I'm using CD, server, so I'm able to see it. Because I'm using this with the server like right here, so why not I can execute this. Okay, so it's running on local host, without, just like make sure we checking everything with. Fine.
Like I could change this one. I mean, one of the things.
And why not, okay, I want to just make sure I get the, so you can say, okay, if I get, so you stop by this, why not in this moment, okay, then you need to, keep on working on the instrument domain. So, if you refer the sample part, they view, so I.
Yes, the example.
Let's see, it should be the previous week.
This is how me and Duke, you know, there's a template that he had with the NPX, Nginx,
So maybe with the server and then one for. So
I just like the read and read and everything. AWS
if you want, you can have it. So mainly will be two files. So once you for the server. Also you can check the MongoDB. The server and the MongoDB. So you can download both.
It's opening up.
Yes. Yeah, okay. So what are you doing?
it says,
It's like.
I don't care if it doesn't work great, I just want to stop seeing it. That's. I think it has to go better something.
Maybe I did like one setting where I was saving like the stupid automatic saving. Or-
The problem is
So this is what I.
compounded to fair.
Like, what's the?
Or like, when you get the problems,
No, no, then you got some like OneDrive. Yeah, third.
It's not disabled one drive there, but still.
Is that on like, it's gonna be on like, so.
Yes.
I need to. Need to go.
Okay, so like, this is very specific. I had access control of the whole, but that's still kind of, that is what. This way, he told me that I was, that's, you don't have. You're in that, I do your, your API.
API server farm?
So the one in NGA is available.
It's not.
We're doing it differently.
I feel like more.
So you.
I'm literally not able to.
Oh, that's what I'm doing.
So do you?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, that's where you are.
That's the longer.
Just frames and goals. That's how you quickly sometimes like, I'm like, oh, can you help me out with this work? And I'm sure. Does it once genius, like, yeah. I just did one little thing tonight.
You don't have that. You don't have that. No, please don't. Okay, well, no. Okay, so.
I've lost my drive.
And even-
What I did just did was install MongoDB locally, install message, and then install.
Okay, when I was, okay, even though, okay, so.
Running happy,
Now,
even though nothing's
so.
going on. So server running, I don't know where things,
He opened, he opened the local house, which 3,000. Yeah, that's the thing.
So, yeah, there was, and then,
I think this type of.
oh. From PowerShell. So you know how you go to, you're on PowerShell for Node to run it, it says server running on whatever.
That is the.
Yeah, I've never done.
okay, so you're. You can copy.
So.
I'm 18.
Okay, I can have you actually.
Control. But again, so you have to.
Your bottom line is the server running whatever.
So create service and.
Are you on?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you hover over it.
Before that, so the message. And then because we need to, because the Nginx. So, actually I can create that, or you have them. Learning that we did, I am older.
Yeah.
They're already on that, was it CSCI? Are they already on that?
Well, there's a deal years ago, there was, they were saying last time, Sweet 16. So trying to figure out. About like the party and whatnot. And they go to the thing and then he already did it. Then he always says, "Damn it." So every time some good story comes out, I say,
And then.
there's nothing. It's so like the frame for so long.
So that's why.
I think of it as like,
So I give
the image in my head is like, oh, we're
information
and then it's just like, they're gonna have. Over
Got
there.
torches and everything.
Yeah, I'm not like.
You give it the-
Behind it,
So
I'm sitting there with my
maybe
phone,
we are
my
not
3%.
allowed them to
Yeah.
modify, so we do.
And then I left for a
We
little bit.
have Also, we get others, so we give them most ways to get it and then it's right. So we-
So one of the kids,
Okay. So I give it. And maybe I need to do, maybe you will also. Alright.
And I haven't run into this is like.
I can, like, if you don't want to give it, okay, just empty it. I don't want to be. Let's go back. I give it, right, and then I make sure. Yes, yeah, so anything.
There's another file.
You can put
Yeah,
it.
so what you get from there is,
Yeah, it's good.
there's another one out there that looks. When you want to make sure it's really more.
So, we should be in there.
You have this.
Oh, I mean, I think if-
Yeah, this one.
So,
does this stuff happen to you?
I'm not trying to tell him yet.
Why not?
When he said, he told me a while back, weeks ago, that you.
And so.
I'm trying to get the issue, I've literally been in my mother-in-law's house, 2 days prior, like 3 days prior.
And then.
Waiting yesterday, 5 hours.
So,
I get very close so much. Then I get here.
Do you know the system? Find the defendant's name over the other name?
And then.
I have not been here. If you guys, that's some probably. I want to learn more about it, you're gonna get a certification like somebody has.
He is like,
No one's going to hear random certifications and powers, like, I want to have certification of the open. I was wanting a notary to help. If you build it in America.
One of my friends does that, like,
If you build it.
So what?
Bonafide,
No.
Feel bad that he's had.
Or use.
Daniel's
For
working.
one thing.
These are people who work like this.
Probably. Geez, man, for a photo file.
People are like to do that.
Restore it.
That's feeling great about there and.
Yeah.
like I said, this semester's gonna be a big.
But when we make this, it's
So
always simply. That's not what I need.
NPM.
I think that's how.
I'm still in waiting for an organization from all we can use.
So what is like NPM?
Where
I
is
think the
the-
community's gonna be a free one.
That's where it's only free.
Yes.
Yeah.
So are you giving the same rate?
And if you have like somebody else's credit card, they're happy to let you utilize, I'm sure. you
And
would get a big
instead of
price.
service, because I want to read that. So this one. It's free. Yeah, it's only time. Seven hundred. So we have to put the name. So the names that I don't want to let it, but. So I will. It can.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Jason.
And then also I want.
And then try to go.
Okay, so you're gonna live there, and then also within the fourth and
That's what.
so we're all just under student.
What I read was they install.
So is that still a memorial to them?
I did it. I mean, I got it.
Go in there and then it will change.
Because that's like. But some they tell you.
Yeah.
So why not safety process? So make sure.
And I can't get one of these through HP.
So you just.
I'll let you know.
So this one, we are doing. Then you go to
I wanted to see if I could.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
This is.
Because that means this means
It's also quite expensive. Where you actually cannot buy anything. Okay, so we got.
Our splicing,
So it actually determines.
phone chargers and such.
My USB-C is for.
So that means why not we're gonna
That's
this
for storage.
The whole is like.
It actually has a lightning bolt on it, so I think we use it for both.
And then.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what
Of course.
And then you will be able to fetch the data.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's pretty.
Okay, it works. Okay, good. Then what you need to do, just like computing, right now you're able to get the data. Then you should learn how can you right now you just like return everything, right? Then you need to implement how can you passing the parameter to the server, like based on maybe by the ID, I only can get only one item, or I need to sending the data to the server. Then how can I save it? How can I add one more? So that's what you need to input. You can refer to. I think you should able to once you fix all these problems, you should able to follow the code and implement the follow it. Yeah. Okay, so I close it.
But